If I don't share these 2 rotis today, will I still be myself? Ravi whispered. Eyes lowered to the warm flatbreads trembling in his hands. Behind him, Tara stood in silence. No more anger, only a weariness that had no name. The kitchen was empty. The rice had run out. These 2 pieces of bread were all they had for lunch. On the doorstep, a small novice monk sat quietly, thin arms wrapped around his belly. Not a single word, not even a plea, just silence. The kind that presses into your chest without sound. Ravi closed his eyes. A memory flickered back. His mother, long ago, crouched outside someone's porch, just like this, hungry, unspoken, unseen. She had waited too, and no one came. He opened his eyes, touched the bread again, and wondered. Maybe giving half of what you have is the only way to not lose who you are. Dear friend, welcome to Soulgyan, a space where gentle stories stir something quiet inside the tight corners of your heart. Here, we don't just tell stories for entertainment. We pause to find a part of ourselves in the choices others make. Because sometimes one small moment is enough to change everything you thought life was. Ravi grew up in a small village where poverty wasn't unusual, it was simply part of life. His mother was a thin woman who always carried an old cloth to wipe her sweat while working in the fields. After his father passed away early, Ravi got used to studying and working at the same time from the age of 8. Early morning runs to the fields, afternoons carrying water for his mother, and nights spent reading under a flickering oil lamp. These routines shaped his childhood. Despite their struggles, Ravi's mother always held on to one belief. If someone knocked at the door hungry, even if there was only half a piece of bread, it should still be shared. Hunger is when people lose themselves the most, she used to say. But it's also when you find out who truly has a heart. When she passed away, Ravi was still a boy, too young to understand much. But the image of her quietly cooking porridge for a stranger while she herself was sick stayed etched in his memory. Since then, he lived with one quiet vow. If someone needed help, he would never look away. Because to help someone was to hold on to his own humanity. Years passed. Ravi married Tara, a practical, devoted woman who loved him in quiet ways. Tara didn't resent Ravi's kindness, but she was tired of it. Tired of having watery rice at the end of the month. Tired of Ravi giving away his meal to strangers and coming home pretending he wasn't hungry. You live for the whole world, she once said softly. But will the world live for you? That day, the sun blazed relentlessly. Ravi came home early, hoping to have lunch with his wife. In the kitchen, only 2 rotis were left. Tara had just finished washing vegetables and whispered, "This is all we've got for lunch. The rice is gone too." Ravi nodded. As long as they were together, that was enough. But then came a knock on the door. A small novice monk stood silently outside. Thin, dusty feet, sweat on his forehead. His robe a faded shade of ash. He said nothing, just bowed and waited. Ravi stepped out and gently greeted him. "Sit here for a while, son." He poured cool water from an old ceramic jug and handed it to the boy. The child received it with both hands, closed his eyes, and drank slowly, as if each drop was healing his weary body. Tara stood in the kitchen, saying nothing, but Ravi knew. She was watching, and inside she was torn. When the boy quietly said, "My teacher is away in the mountains. I got lost. I haven't eaten since yesterday," Ravi froze. He walked into the kitchen, lifted the cloth covering the rotis, only two left. His hand touched one, gently, but inside, it felt like something had slammed against his chest. Behind him, Tara spoke up, her voice calm but firm. "If you give those away, what will you eat? What about me? What about tomorrow?" Her words were not loud, but loud enough for the boy outside to hear. Ravi stood between two hungers, his own, and the silent gaze of a child who still believed that knocking on a door might lead to kindness. He paused. A memory stirred. His mother, sitting on someone's porch, hungry, trembling, and no one invited her in. That day no one came, but today he could choose differently. He turned to Tara. "If I don't share, then who am I?" Tara didn't reply. She just looked at him for a long time and then lowered her eyes. Ravi walked out. He placed the 2 rotis gently in front of the boy. "Eat this, son. It's the best we have in our home." The boy didn't speak. He bowed slightly, then ate slowly, as if afraid that eating too fast would make something sacred vanish. After finishing, the child stood. From his old fabric satchel, he pulled out something carefully wrapped in cloth. "My teacher told me this should only be given to someone truly worthy. And today, I believe I've found that person." Ravi unwrapped the cloth. Inside was a brass bowl, simple but shining brightly under the sunlight. "My teacher said this bowl was once given by a traveler to someone who lived with compassion and asked for nothing in return. I think it should be yours now." Ravi quickly shook his head. "I can't take this, you keep it," but the boy simply smiled. "I wasn't hungry because I lacked food. I was hungry to find kindness in this world, and now I'm full." He bowed and walked away into the sunlight. Ravi stood there, frozen. Not because of the bowl, but because, in that very moment, he saw his mother standing behind the boy, smiling, and then gone. From that day on, Ravi didn't change, but Tara did. She no longer scolded when he gave food to strangers. She stopped asking when the rice was nearly gone. One day, she even ran out to the market to quietly hand a lunchbox to a beggar sitting alone. "Kindness doesn't fill your stomach," she once whispered, "but somehow it fills your heart." Neighbors began to notice. Ravi's home wasn't richer, but somehow it felt warmer. The oil lamp on their porch always seemed to burn longer than others. And people would say, "That place, it has a different kind of light." Nothing about Ravi's life changed on the outside. The kitchen stayed simple, the roof still whispered of modest days, but something in the air felt softer. Through Tara's gaze, through the way she no longer complained when he shared their meals, Ravi understood something within had shifted. The brass ball was only a symbol, but the human heart, when awakened by kindness, is the sacred thing. Little Tashi hadn't come just to ask for food. He came like a mirror, to remind Ravi of a quiet promise he had once made in his heart. Dear friend, if you ever find yourself standing between two choices, between holding on or giving away, remember this: what you hold on to will feed your body, but what you give away might nourish your soul. If today's story touched something inside you, keep it close, and maybe gently send it to someone who needs to remember that kindness still lives.